two trials now where juries won't agree on murder or voluntary manslaughter, so let's just throw something else out there and see if that'll stick.
As the prosecutor decides about a possible third trial for Ray Tenzing, we are learning of a plea deal, a deal Tenzing refused. Good evening, I'm Paula Toti.
And I'm Brad Johansson. Joe Deters says that he will decide next week whether or not to try former UC police officer Ray Tenzing again for the murder of Sam DuBose after a traffic stop back in 2015.
Two juries could not agree on a verdict. Now we are learning Tenzing was offered a deal to plead guilty to a lesser crime to avoid a second trial. Local 12's Deborah Dixon explains why he turned down the offer.
Prosecutor Joe Deters has made it clear since 2015 he believes the shooting of Sam DuBose is murder. Deters says intentionally shooting him is not reckless or negligent homicide, but murder.
This doesn't happen in the United States, okay? This might happen in Afghanistan or somewhere. This just does not happen in the United States. People don't get shot for a traffic stop.
But then after the first hung jury and in the middle of the second trial, prosecutors asked the judge to let the jury consider reckless homicide.
The defendant made a serious tactical error in that by lunging or quickly reaching into that vehicle, that created state-created danger, in that the defendant created a reckless situation by his act.
The judge disagreed. So does Tenzing's attorney, who says Tenzing turned down an offer to plead guilty to reckless homicide to avoid a second murder trial.
He said he wasn't going to plead to a felony. Number one, he wasn't going to plead to anything because he thinks he's not guilty, as do I.
There is a big difference between murder and reckless homicide. Murder is intentionally taking a life, possible penalty, 15 years to life. Reckless homicide is accidentally taking a life while acting recklessly, possible penalty, 1 to 5 years. Tenzing admits shooting Sam DuBose in the head. He said it was to stop the threat of being dragged by a moving car. Jurors could not agree.
We've seen two trials now where juries won't agree on murder or voluntary manslaughter, so let's just throw something else out there and see if that'll stick.
If we begin to file charges just based off of what the community wants, I think we lead down a slippery slope.
Protesters and the Sam DuBose family want a third murder trial. Some have criticized the prosecutor's office, saying Tenzing was overcharged. Rodney Harris with the Public Defender's Office disagrees.
Any other day in our Hampton County Courthouse, if someone says that I came down, I intentionally pulled out a gun, I intentionally shot you in the head, that's murder unless you have a legal defense to it. Unless that defense has been proven, that's murder.
Joe Deters says he'll decide next week. Deborah Dixon, Local 12 News.
Jurors in the last trial voted 8-4 against murder.